And finally, like, I can't let you go without talking to you about Cloudbreak because and you've had the best wave of your life out there, or one of, and also the fucking best wipe out of your life. Like, so that's like one of the classic hidings from, yeah, that was pretty early on in the kind of history of Cloudy in terms of it being open to the public. I don't even know if it was open to the public at that point, but yeah,
Yeah.
talk us through your history with that wave.
Well, it's cool when I actually think of those two waves, how far big wave surfing has progressed. You know, the first, that one when I fall out of the sky and get flogged or whatever, back whatever year that was. You know, I'm just in boardies and got a 6'8", and I'm just paddled out to try and catch a wave, and well, it's pretty big out here. And then you go move forward however many years, and I've got the right board, I've got an impact vest, I got a pull vest, I got leggies that can detach, I got all the right equipment, and you do, you know, I make the wave. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how far big wave surfing's come and what people are doing. It's been pretty inspiring to watch. And yeah, I guess I actually haven't done a whole lot of time at Cloudbreak. I've only surfed it. I've only been there 3 or 4 times. And 2 of those times were for the big swells. And yeah, that whole day I got the good wave it's just one of those trips that everything falls into your lap. It's kind of like, I really had goals on that trip too. Like I was saying, when you put yourself in a mind frame and think of things, and you know, you got little goals on that trip, what you want to achieve. And I kept telling myself, I really want a good tube, like I want a good one. And you know, the big windy day, I got towed into a couple big waves, and I paddled into a couple big waves, but I walked away from that day like stoked, going, fuck, that was pretty cool, but I didn't get the wave that I wanted. Like, and it was, you know, it was like the next day, still luckily another day, and it almost seemed like it wasn't going to be another day. We woke up and it was like a tropical cyclone. It was raining and the weather was terrible. And we're staying at Malolo, which is a fair bit away from where everyone stays at Tavarua and Namotu. All the people stay there. Like most of the big wave guys were staying there, and we're back at Malolo. And it was just like torrential weather. And we're like, let's just go. Like, we're here. Let's jump in the boat and go. And so we mowed it out in the shitty weather, and then got out there, and the wind, it's just gone glass off, and we beat all the Tavarua and the Namotu crew out, and got out there. And you know, I didn't have a big board. I'd snapped my dill that wasn't even big enough, and luckily Dan had a couple big boards, and Dan jumped off the boat first, and there was only 3 people out, and he got a couple and then got one nice tube, and he was like, I'm stoked, I'm done. And it's like, really? I can use your board? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I was like, yeah, I borrowed Dan's board and went out. And then obviously, like when I caught that wave, obviously a fair few crew come out, and it was just another one. It's on again, and here's some proper waves. And yeah, I just remember putting myself in a position that day. Like I got out the back to where that wave, you know, I wanted to be out. You know, I was a second or third person out kind of thing. I had this landmark that I gave myself, looking at, you know, back at feet the main island. I gave myself a landmark with the tower, and kept putting myself there. And yeah, there was one guy outside of me paddling for that wave, and he was too far out, and I was almost too far out. And I just remember going, go, and yeah, head down and caught that wave. And it was one of the most special waves I've ridden. It just, again, the feeling of that thing and how long it actually felt. And again, like the perspective, when I look at the photos, and that doesn't look like I'm that deep, but my own personal feeling of that wave is like unbelievable. And you know, just a beautiful big tube where I get to let go of my rail and really appreciate where I am in that wave, and to ride it, you know, my standard for myself perfectly. Was I was just, it felt like one of the best waves I'd ever ridden. And yeah, I come out and it's like, to be in my headspace the whole time on that trip thinking I want to get a crazy tube, and then it happens. You're like, you tick the box, and you sort of like, it feels surreal that you actually, because it's such a all the guys all those crew have rode crazy ones at Jaws and wherever else, that they'd be the same thing. They're, here comes this swell. I hope I get the good one. I really want to get a good one, and all the lead up, and then it actually happens, and it's like a surreal feeling. It's like, wow, it just happened, and it's an unbelievable feeling, and I hope a lot of people get to experience those sort of feelings with whatever they do in their life. And to me, that was just one of those special waves that, another one of those special waves I've been lucky enough to ride and put myself in the position. And it was funny because I paddled back out, and everyone was so super stoked, and just the vibe and whatever. It was an amazing experience. And the funny thing is, I was sitting out there, and I was actually in the perfect spot for another one, and I didn't go because I felt guilty. Like, I'll let someone else go. I just like, if I go another good one, I feel greedy. So I was that satisfied that, I'm done. I almost should have not even paddled back out, and I paddled back out just because I was almost in awe, confused of what I'd just ridden, like, wow, that was insane. What do I do now? Do I paddle back out? Do I go sit in the boat? Do I, naturally I paddle back out. But yeah, it's just one of those special waves.